I have a rather exciting update. It's something that I've been working on only past couple of days, actually. I think it was actually only yesterday when I think about it enough. Yeah. I just come up with concepts, and really, when my mind goes on one, I just do it. And I think that goes quite well with the post I made on my main website, my main stephenbradleywaters.com, my main hub, where I just showcase really what I've got going on and things like that. But I put becoming a one-person brand, and I spoke recently about a few skills that seem to come together to create um, something quite remarkable, really. I don't consider myself a powerhouse, but I consider myself competent in many areas, and it actually plays quite well to multiple strengths. So I have an idea, and then I can all of a sudden I can do this, I can do that, I can do this, I can do that, and I don't need support. I can just get it done. It's a nice place to be, being self-sufficient. So let's put things into perspective. Heading into May, I was expecting to collaborate on Brains magazine. It was I had a video meeting a couple of months ago. It costs about £90 a month for an annual subscription. You'll then do about 13 articles. It helps promote yourself, so you get featured more on the internet, and maybe people in the circles or professional circles, maybe you'll get recognized there and opportunities come and things like that. And I thought, okay, sometimes you've got to pay to get ahead to a degree, because, it feels for me an awful lot like I hit a million roadblocks. Doesn't matter how hard I work, doesn't matter what I do, it just seems to gain no growth. Yeah, I'm not someone that gives up, and I'm not someone that takes the easy way out of things. And I have a habit of going a bit rogue. I have a habit of doing my own thing. And I just had a little epiphany. It just popped into my head out of nowhere. I just thought about it, and I just thought, but I could feature on their website, and you could pay the £90 a month. Or I could just make my own website and make as many articles as I want, and just pay the one fee for the domain name if I can think of something that suits. Why don't I just do that? you know. So at first, initially, I started coming up with different concepts for websites, and I come up with one that was very close to their design. But in the end, I didn't particularly like it. I don't like full-size websites, the ones that could cover the whole screen and stretch and all sorts. It just gets too big in your face. So, for instance, where they've got this image, I find that quite tedious personally. Someone in this stance, I just think a bit arrogant. That's just the impression I get, and it completely dominates the entire space. So I'm not here to copy and mimic other people's. I've got my own vision for what I want. You're going to see what I've done in a moment. I'm not saying mine's better in any way. Perhaps, probably not, but it's costing me a fraction. I came up with a domain name. I actually tried about 15 different domain names. Everything's taken within the sort of mindfulness, healing, and spiritual sphere. Coming up with an original concept of name that's not already been derived and taken is really hard. You're going to see an example in a minute of a domain name that costs $22,000 because someone's selling it, or the platforms are selling it because they know it's higher value. That's ridiculous. So when you're trying to come up with names, it just becomes impossible. So I come up with a bit of a convoluted name, and then I just started shaving a few words off here and there, and I got it down, and it cost me £15. The reason it cost me £15, because normally it's about 10 for a domain name. First year, then it's about £15 a year. I bought the .com and the .org because I couldn't decide what I wanted, and I knew I wanted the .com because .com is just the one that makes it. That's the main one. If you've got a .com, you're the main one doing it. You can't buy every single domain name though, the extensions, because it's just too expensive. But .org, I felt, gives me potential in the future if I decide to make it bigger and it's an organization. Who knows where things grow, But this is something I'm deeply passionate about, and it's something that I can see myself doing for a very long time. Like, I've done gaming channels, I've spoken about it before, I do gaming content, I've done gaming websites, but it's always short-lived because I get tired, I get bored, and my mind goes in other directions. But in terms of the space of healing and spirituality and mindfulness and all those things, that's something that's been with me for a decade, and I've done books constantly. So it's not something that's just going to fade. So me having a platform, all of a sudden, it just opens so many doors for me, providing I take it serious. all of a sudden, I provide a platform for my books. I can showcase my books in a different way. I can showcase my videos in a different way. Not everybody's on YouTube, but most people are on the internet. All of a sudden, wait a minute, there is potential here. I'm not expecting overnight, but yeah, if I put the time and effort and I actually make this work, anything's possible. And like I said, it's cost me £15. Now, it doesn't mean I can't collaborate on someone else on the other project, for instance, but it's unlikely at this point because I don't see the benefit to it personally at the moment. So let's have a look. We'll have a look at what their website now. Now, I've only now, bear in mind, I've got like 700 videos on YouTube. So that creates an awful lot of potential for articles on my website, doesn't it? And if I create a showcase for each one over time, and then I add links to my books as well, it helps get engagement on my videos if it's ever seen on like people doing a search on Google. And of course, it gives me a higher chance of being seen with my books as well. So everybody wins, engagement goes up. I will gain financially at some point, finally get rewarded. But of course, I know I'm touching so many lives because every time I get rewarded, it's helping someone heal. And that's the beautiful exchange, So anyway, let's just have a look at Brains Magazine. There's nothing wrong with it, but they've got to get inspired by influential leaders, top entrepreneurs, expert coaches, and we know who the ones are paying, right? So he'll be getting paid to feature because it helps promote their brand. I'm not a naive individual, I get it. Now, I don't have all the fancy photography and all this stuff to go with it, I'm not going to go to the extent of trying to create a magazine. It's not of interest to me in the slightest. So I'm not trying to compete with anyone. I'm not trying to copy or mimic. I'm just thinking, you know what? Let's find a way to showcase my work, what I've been doing for a long time. It's not about mimicking anything else. I'm doing my own thing. So we'll just showcase where I'm up to. So this is where I was up to. Here's my main website, like I just said, stephenbradleywaters.com. I've put a lot of years into this. Sometimes I just leave it in periods because I'm working on a project, I'm doing videos. And that's kind of where things are. I detach to do something. So my books end up sort of segregated from everything I do. My videos are separate to everything I do. There's no cohesion. Now, I tried to bring it together a little as best I can through my website. So, for instance, I'll showcase my books as much as I can to showcase, what I'm doing. I'll put some of my YouTube videos, but I can't possibly put all my YouTube videos on a front page. And that's really what this website mainly is. I have a blog section, but I don't really use it. And it's really for me to promote what I'm doing at a given moment, So just to lean into that a little bit, as a segue, I started to work on creating this website. Don't know if I've got it prepared. We'll have to just click through to it, I think. So we'll just go through to it just briefly. I'm not going to touch on this one too long because I've spent a good few weeks on this. I've been enjoying it for a couple of weeks at least, and I've been throwing myself into it. And it's something I'll still do as a passion project, but it's not the main thing now. And that's quite crazy because recently I've been putting a lot of effort into this, And what I've been doing with this was I made banners, and I thought everything I do now can create some attention on my work, right? But this is more like I love my physical media, so I'm going to do that. But then, like I said, I was thinking about that. And I thought to myself, well, we can do more. Why don't I do my version of this? And I featured it here, so you can see it on my website. So if you go on my website, I've got these two websites. I also have a gaming one ages ago, but we'll forget about that for now. So this is my alternative to that. Now, bear in mind, this includes just a load of different people. If I just go on anything here, let's say we click this. It will say it's written by this person. She features there. And it will say at the bottom, here. This article is published in collaboration with Brains Mag network of global experts, insights. These people, if it says they're an executive, where it says executive contributor Brains Magazine, it means they're paying the money to feature. So they've paid the premium. It's about £1,500 or £90 a month-ish. There's different tiers. But that's pretty much what they're paying to have this opportunity to feature here and do all this. And I'm thinking to myself, I could do it for free from my own thing, like I said. And I don't want to go too deep with this. But let's have a little look. How much does a web domain cost? This one is healyourmind.com. Something so simple. 22,000. Now you can sit there and play with this all day long and come up with different names. I haven't thought of anything now, but I did at the time. Heal your mind. Let's say you say heal your soul. What's heal your soul going to be? Let's say .com, because we want specifically the .com. Healyoursoul.com. What are we going to get for that? Because it was 22,000 for mind. We're not getting anywhere. I'm trying to find out if there's an easier way to find this. But as you can see, they've got so many different extensions nowadays. Right, registered in 2003, make offer. People know they're sitting on prime real estate, you know. I mean, I can't even come up with anything now, but because I was tired myself out with it. But it just gets ridiculous, you know. Mind healing, .com, £5,000. I mean, you're just not going to find anything that makes sense, right? Yeah, I did, and I got it quickly. £15. I bought the .org, the .com. Now I have got a spiritual one called Our Spiritual, I think. Didn't make much sense, so I haven't used it. Now I've got this one, OurMindAndSoul.com, and I quite like that. I thought, okay, Our Mind and Soul. Yeah, I'll have that. Got it. No one's got it. I took it. You know, this is mine now. So I've got the .com.org. Now, look, like I said, these are all got collaborators. So you've got loads of different people, and they're making an awful lot of money off it as well. So I'm not saying I'm competing in any way. They're established, right? But I'm just putting my videos, where I've got all my YouTube videos, and I cover a lot of topics. And it's just sits here on my YouTube channel. Now, the people might not even know it exists, and they probably don't. So how are they going to come across these videos? Maybe they will see it on YouTube, maybe they won't. But by doing it this way, may find it on the internet. So what do I have to do? I'll make a post on my website. I'll embed the video. I'll also make links to my books, and I'm being creative with that. And then I'll just do an article as well about the video. So I'll go back, watch the video, make an article on it, and make it a certain length to make it interesting and, you know, worth people's time. And then if people like it enough, they'll watch the video. If they like it enough, they'll buy it. They'll maybe look at my books. So there's a chance to win on every article. So it means that every article, no article can be rushed. Take it serious. And that's really my plan. So I intend to create a very high quality website over a period of time. So do I need to feature on theirs at this point? I don't think so, because I've got my own thing. So what I've been doing today, a lot of hassle. Like there's a lot of admin going into the background that's bothered me a lot. I've had to submit a sitemap, which is a pain in the ass. To do all that to Google. I've had to set up AdSense as well, where you can create your own adverts on other platforms. But it's more the fact that I can get ad revenue by featuring adverts on. Because if I want this to be sustainable now, it's important that I do extend this. I don't usually like adverts, but you know, I want to be profitable too. I want to be doing well for myself. So yeah, we'll promote my books, but also let's have a look at how the ads will feature on my website. We can look into doing that. So I've set that up. I've set up, you know, everything so Google can track everything that's going in. I'm really heavy on SEO right now, something I usually take for granted, but I'm really working on that. So that means you feature high in your search rankings, you know, so later on people will go on to Google and maybe you've got an article pops up. You know, it might be I make a load of posts and maybe a handful get noticed, but it doesn't matter as long as something gets noticed, you know. So I go with different themes, different designs. I've been tinkering and all sorts. It's a theme I've been like working with and fine tuning and figuring out what I want for it. It's free, you know, so the design itself is free. It's up to us to implement. I always think it's not about the design, although of course it matters. What matters more is the content. So it does. I've had that in the past. I've spent so long tinkering with designs in the past, really like customizing it for myself, going deep dive into all that. And ultimately, I realized quite quickly after is if you haven't got the content, it's all for nothing. You don't really know how it's going to work until you start putting more content in. So thankfully, I've got a lot, so I can do that, and then I can figure out what I want it to look like. And I really like this. It's clean, it's simple, and that's really what I want for the website. So there is a pro version of this theme, this template, which I'm likely to pay for. It's about £50, and I just think it's worth it because what it'll do, it give me different sections. So as I start building this up, I can really go deep on this. So I've got a level up thing that's completely different. It's just about trying to help people uplift their creative capacity, whether it's writing, whether it's doing the video content, whether it's talking and speaking. That's separate to other serious topics, but we can have that, a bit like this here. Have another one down here, something with the video, it just segregates, And I think having multiple areas. Now you can use a different theme, and it'll give you more options. It might give you multiple options anyway for free, but I like this. I like this layout. I like the way it's working. So right now, what I've done, I've thrown about 10 or so of my YouTube videos onto here, but I've only used the description from the videos. So there's a lot of work to go into each of these. I'm not going to keep pumping videos over to here because I want to make sure that I get these up to scratch. So there will be periods when this website goes offline when I'm working on design changes, or if I think there's going to be a huge change to the content. But the one I've just really been kicking on with is the Michael Jackson one here. So it's a tarot session I did, and I've been working on it. I've just wrote it all up, had to edit bits for SEO purposes, and I had to go fine tuning with all that. Because again, you want it to feature. But then how does it even look on your web browser? How does it look on your phone when you're searching? And these are little things I'm doing now. I'm just making sure that let's get that perfect, then we can move on to others. But like I say, this is their one, But everyone's different. There might be one that's really long article. Someone else might just write one that's really short, So, I mean, I can do all of that myself pretty much. You would design it in a different way, of course, but I can do the subheadings and all that. It's nothing really too different. And of course, you just got your links, but that happens the more you create content because the more categories you create, So I'm not trying to run before I walk, if you like. But this is my topics at the moment. We've got spirituality, we've got mindset, we've got personal growth, society, level up, and then we've even got an about page. So this is my about page where I just talk about like how I come to create this. And then I just promote my books. I might come back to this if I can remember, but we'll have a go. Let's go back to the main hub here. Like I say, look, so we've got flash articles. These are ones I featured personally, so I've cherry picked them. I'll go through them later. We've got a whole editor section where I pick, is it 6? And I'll check. The more content I have, the more I'll specify ones to feature. Made a link here for my book, which I think is pretty cool. And then I specify this is a society, so these are only society categories down here. And eventually that's what I want. I want different categories to have its own section. And then all the new latest stuff here or something, So it will look better as time goes on. But at the moment, I think, to be honest, it's pretty cool. I like it. So let's go on Michael Jackson one, see what I've been working on. And I'll go behind the scenes with this as well so you can see. So our mind and soul, spirituality, mindset, personal growth, society and culture. Then we've also got Michael Jackson tarot session, a surreal experience. That was far longer before. The SEO didn't like it. It meant that if you was on a web browser, especially on your phone, it would cut off half of the title, which isn't a good experience and does mess you up in terms of your positioning. So I thought, okay, we'll cut that down. And then what's pretty cool is you can create a description. Normally it's an excerpt from what you've already written, but you can actually create a custom description. So I just did that as well, and it looked cool, and it fits perfect. Which is why we've got this, you can't see it there, but we've got a green. It's all green. I was like, nice one. I've perfected it. So, yeah, creating these little subheadings helps as well. So, yeah, all this from that one video. So, where you got that video on YouTube, I've then gone and wrote an article. Took the time to sit here, typing it up, thinking about what I want to say. And then what's covered in the video. Yeah, tarot moments. So, tarot moments in the video. And these sort of like questions or some feedback over it, things. And then I've decided to just put some details for the video here. I mean, this is things that are fine-tuned, more content I do, more I improve one article, I might come back and refine another. And I've done this author box at the bottom, which, again, I might tinker with because I can change the color of this whenever I want. You can make a border, add more links if there's specific links I want. But I put here, look, author of self-help, spiritual, personal growth and trauma books, web designer, podcaster and video content creator, sharing my knowledge and experience to help others heal. I've embraced a deep spiritual journey and overcome enough struggles and challenges to cover many lifetimes. How we perceive and respond to situations determines the outcomes and our ability to grow beyond towards a fulfilling life. Yeah, I might alter that as just quick gloss over, pretty much rundown. Again, later on the home page, I want to do a little bit of an author box there so people can save later, but there has to be enough content that's not the priority. I don't want me doing that. It dominates the page. But yeah, anyway, so we've got related posts here. I'm not doing a comment section. You get too much spam. The amount of crap that happens, it's just insane. And people just intent on causing trouble. It's really, it's nefarious people. It's not about what's commented. It's just links to dodgy sites and shit. It's just stupid. They just spam you. And I'm not putting up with it. Again, I did take a note from them. I looked at their website and I thought, I don't really like comments a lot because it is a hassle managing it. And they don't have comments. And I thought, okay, that's fair game then. If you don't need it, we can comment on my YouTube videos, So that's where we're up to with this anyway. So I think, you know what, it's if you look at what I've done now, I don't think it's much different or less than what someone's contributed here. And that's cost them, like someone writing that, just this little article here, if it's costed £90 a month and you only get 13, so it's costing you £90 per article, isn't it, on their website? So it's cost them £90 to do that. I've paid a one-off fee for my web domain, which you have to do for all the domains you want anyway. So this month's cost me £15, but for the rest forever, it's £15 a year. So if we talk about annually, what are we at? What, pound? So it's cost them £90 to feature on their website to do that, and it's cost me £1 to do my one. So. And it's I can do as many as I want. They can only make 13 articles. I can just do what I want whenever I want. So again, it begs the question. But this is where all my skills have come into things, where I've wrote my books and now I've got books to promote, if you like. So now I've done the banners because I can use Photoshop and I can create these things myself. So it's pretty nice feeling to be able to do all of this, And I do the videos. And then I can make the website to feature the videos. All of a sudden, this is looking quite nice. Like I say, I've sorted out the Google stuff. You just got to wait to be. It can take a couple of weeks apparently, and then we'll see how they implement the adverts. Because I'm doing auto at the moment, so we'll see how they place them. If I don't like it, then we'll have to start doing manual placements, which is just more time consuming for me really. But I want to just see how the auto feed function works with Amazon, with Google's ads. So yeah, we'll see how that plays out. But again, it's just ways to monetize a little bit. Hopefully, it's not too much. Because again, if there's too many adverts, for instance, let's say they place an advert and I've got 2 of mine and I think that's just too much, I'll just take one of mine off, Like, for instance, we've got this one here. Do I need this one here? So it's just, we'll see. We'll see what the content is and how that plays out. But yeah, I'm really excited because I've got the domain name. I own it now. I'll always own it. And the other thing is, let's say I didn't even make anything with it. We've just seen how much these are going for, between £5,000 and £22,000 for these sort of domain names, and I have it. So even if I just put it on a marketplace to sell it, might be able to make a load of money there, couldn't you? But I haven't done it for that, so that's not the point. I just wanted to show this here really. So this is me creating the page, and if we go over here to this Yoast, which is what this is, it tells you the things, which is why I've updated it myself. So we can go and have a look. What does search appearance look like? So if you was on Google, what would it look like on Google? Now, before I did all this, this is what it didn't look like this. This was all long. It was going off here. So it starts to do the ... which isn't good because people want to know. They don't want to have to stuff is not being readable. So you've got to keep it within a confined space. And I like that. So I consolidated the title. So Michael Jackson, Tarot Session, and then a surreal experience, and then the website's called Our Mind and Soul. And that's what it's saying. So every title would always have Our Mind and Soul at the end. And then I made this really short meta description, which isn't in the excerpts. So I've just put, receiving answers to questions from Michael Jackson during an impromptu tarot card reading, delving into his career and legacy. So if someone sees that on Google, they might look and go, well, that sounds interesting. all of a sudden they click it. So we got that's on mobile. Now we click here and go desktop version, and it's the same. That's gone slightly dot dot dot. I can't control that, but I don't think we lose much in the process. It's only the name of the website, and we still got this part here. Look, that's pretty cool, isn't it? There is a pro version of this SEO helper, so you can do social media appearance as well. You can see what it looks like, but you have to pay for the pro version for that. But we've got this like readability analysis, so it tells you all the things, you know, consecutive sentences, subheadings, paragraph length, sentence length, transition words. So they weren't, like, I prefer long sentences. I like it, you know, but it kept saying too many long sentences. So I thought, you just got to play the game. So I just started taking some words out here. I started shortening the sentence there. And all of a sudden they were happy, because it's not about what I want sometimes. It's about how is the internet going to feed this, you know. So like I say, this is a deeper side of the admin stuff I'm going to have to take care of. So I'm going to write the pages and the posts, and then I've got to go through to make sure that then it fits in with this, because you want it to feature as high up in the rankings as possible. Because you only, in my opinion, you only need one post to hit high rank, because then someone's already visiting. If they like it enough, then they've got the videos, they've got the books, and then they can also look around the website. And I think that's beneficial, of course. That's the whole point of it all, isn't it? So there's more things that go in the background, I think, than people realise. There's a whole lot of pain in the arse stuff that I had to do today, and I actually prefer the nice stuff. You know, I like to work on this, sort of like make it look good, think how I want to present it, and fine tune some features, and that's what I enjoy doing. Doing the admin side isn't so fun, but you know what I mean? I just think this could grow really big. Because if I start turning all my videos, here, look, 767 videos, I start making each one of them an article on this website, all of a sudden breathes new life into the videos, doesn't it? And I think that's just incredible. So all of a sudden, where they have so many articles, I could very well have many, many articles too. And I can build my own brand, and I can create my own website, and I can feature it in a very professional way, because, you know, I think that looks very professional. I think, to be fair, let's do one where it's shorter, because I want to show how I need to work, the work I need to do personally. See how short that is, because all I've done is took a description of my YouTube video, and it's just very short right now. And then I've got to flesh that out in the same way I've done with others. I need every page to have substance, because it's not about getting people just to look at the video. They have to want to watch the video. And the only way they're going to want to watch the video is if they're enticed enough by reading what they've had here. And then maybe they'll click a link to, maybe they'll be interested in a book, maybe they'll be interested in the video, but that's really what we need to do. So if I make it too short, it's just no substance. People are just going to gloss over. It's not worth even staying here. I want people to be able to enjoy themselves here, grow, learn, do what they need to do, you know? So I say, if we go spirituality, I think there's like 4. 4. So we've got 4 articles at the minute. That'll grow immensely, because we've got the playlists, got loads on YouTube. Mindset and personal growth, I just need to, it straddles a very fine line, like which category things go into. So I need to figure that out per video. So this one's here, like we've got the gaining confidence by doing things scared. We've got the pain of feeling lonely and unwanted. Immature is a sign of weakness, not strength. You know, it's just, these are things, these are videos I've already done. Each video is about an hour long anyway. Dating compatibility. Then we've got society. So that's going to deal with politics as well. But again, that may skew off where we need multiple things. We might have to make that a politics one here. I really don't know yet. At the moment, there's no plan to do that, because I don't want to convolute this and make a million different headings here. But level up's the one I wanted the extra segregation on the website for, because I want to be able to give people the tools to enhance existing skills. I don't want to, I wasn't the plan when I made the website, but looking at my content on YouTube, I was like, well, I don't want to miss that. I do want to be able to incorporate everything I have here. I think it'd be pretty cool to have there. So we've got this level up section. There's enough content here to add to, but not to make it the priority, you know. But if I can find an area to put it, but I will need the pro theme to do that. Again, I can mess about with other themes, but I like the layout of this one. So, and I'm working with it at the moment. But at any moment, I could decide to tinker with something else. I've got no problem. So anyway, let's read about. I'll put my book there, put a banner there. So I put, our mind and soul came from years of hard work and persistence to try to educate and help people overcome challenges and trauma, to align themselves with a better life. Through my heartbreak and struggles, I've learned much about myself, life, and understanding that the tides of change can be harsher or easier depending on how we handle situations. I get frustrated when people jump on trends, intent on sucking as much from people as possible to elevate themselves. Of course, everyone wants a better life, but there are ways to go about it, and I always follow the just path, perhaps the path of the righteous. I can't do it any other way. I've authored numerous books, recorded hundreds of videos, produced a few podcasts, and recorded audiobooks in my quest to have a positive impact on the world. All too often, it's been to no avail, with limited views and restricted growth. It's always been a case of working tirelessly with no reward. Fortunately, I have many talents and skills from years of pursuing a variety of creative interests, from web design and writing to creating video and audio content. I've become adept at creating many things, from books to websites and videos. And within those productions, I used various tools from photo and video editors to audio recording software and word processors. I've tinkered and refined many crafts. When something seems impossible, I'm relentless in my resolve to make it possible. I'm a quick learner and more ambitious than I realize. If I recognize an area I can improve within myself, then I embrace the challenge to do so. And the same goes for projects. It's rather strange to see everything come together when it was never the specific plan. Things fall into place, I guess. I switched from writing books to recording videos, and creating websites doesn't seem like a bad use of my time after all. I dabbled with learning and enhancing my web design skills long before my writing journey began, and what seemed like a period of pointless curiosity has become a tool to blend everything. I hope our Mind and Soul website proves to be a tool to help many people overcome life's challenges, provide a balanced perspective, and help people see life a little differently. Not with a heavy heart, but a reimagining of life's purpose and our role within life's creation, including the betterment of the next generation. And of course, I'd give a link to my website there and in my books as well. So again, this is very early stage. I was tempted to keep it completely offline while I build it, but then I just thought it doesn't matter as long as I'm not making any fundamental huge changes. I can just keep it live. But there's always work to do, of course. But like I say, it made no sense me paying to contribute to enhance someone else's project or business. Like, every time someone makes an article, it helps their brand, gives their popularity, gives more articles, gets their name more known. So you're contributing to it, but you're paying towards that contribution when they should be paying you. Now, again, promotion, even marketing ourselves. Yeah, where'd you start? I'm not saying it's a bad model if you go into it with the mentality. But like I say, I just couldn't help but think it'd be an awful lot cheaper and far more of a personal investment to myself if I create my own brand. And then as I started thinking of it a little bit more, I thought that actually makes total sense. I do the videos, I do the books, and it brings it all together, and it helped people. Huh. Well, why don't I take some time to do that then? That's where we've come to here. It does get a bit confusing because I have made a YouTube channel now with the name, but I don't know if I'll use it because the only thing I can think of at the moment is to make mini clips from my own videos and maybe make that a channel of clips. But that's time consuming and I'm not sure worth the effort. Something to think about, of course. I think with I've got an Instagram channel now. I have nothing on it. I'm just claiming the names really. So I've got that and a TikTok channel, but again, I don't know that there is no plan at the moment. It's just baby steps. It's almost like if you think about what the big companies do, again, if we always go back to brains, it's like, how have they established themselves? What are they doing? And again, it's not about mirroring because we're in different niches, but that's how you do it, you know. So if you see people are promoting things and you think, oh, I need to hire a marketing person, I need to hire a publicist, you can actually look at what those people are doing and then do something similar. You know, it's not about copying, it's just using the tools available. So saying, okay, so what sort of content do they create? Let's say you look at Instagram and you think, what sort of content gets a lot of attention? It's not about being like fake and not true to yourself, but it's just ways to enhance. So even if you was taking photos of something, what sort of angles, what sort of filters are people using? And do I like it? Again, I'm not trying to mimic this project, am I? Because I've got my own design. I could have, I had one that was very similar, but I was like, I prefer mine. You know, I prefer simplicity. You could say it's simple, but it's so in your face. You can't see a lot at once. Whereas I prefer that you can, you know, and that's just my way. Um, so I see things that work and I see things that don't work for me, whether it works for someone else is irrelevant. But there's always little ways, you know. For instance, I thought to myself before this website, when I was doing my other project, if I was to get someone to help promote my books on a, like make a banner that you'd put as an advertisement, think about that. Someone probably paid to charge a lot of money for that. It was a lot of hassle. I just sat there and did it in a few hours, you know, just one at a time. So it's just a lot where I say where I've got these, if it loads, I don't know if we need to load it now. Go there. Where I've got these banners here that I did them myself, quite simple. I've got every single one of my books. There's 7 banners, and I can just pick which one I want on any given page, and just mix them up. So I could just go. Let's say we go to this one. What's next? So we had Lose Your Mind to Find Your Soul, and then we had the purple one, Follow Your Dreams. Now we've got Heal Your Mind. You know, it's just I've just got a different one I put out. But I made them myself, and it's just that's the thing. When I want to do something, I'll just do it. And hopefully it's inspiring to others, like with ambitions and dreams to do their own thing too, you know? That you might do something, go down a certain path and think, I've wasted so many years doing this or wasted time doing that. It might come full circle. You know, I was doing my website way before I was actually doing a website before I even did video content and before I did writing. So I was doing website a very long time ago, about 15 years ago or so. I started dabbling with websites. I was really learning different skills, different platforms, different tools, different things. Then I started doing videos. I started doing to gaming stuff. And then because I was writing on the website, I was getting better and more proficient at writing. Then when I went through a huge trauma, I documented that trauma and I did my first book. But it all come full circle because the websites is what I was doing first. And now I can put that into practice because it's the thing that I know an awful lot about. You know? So yeah, I mean, as I say, it's a skill that at one point I thought, as I was working on my books, I thought, I can't see me making any more websites. It's not worth the hassle. I've got bigger things to achieve. I'd rather do things that are a bit more sort of life changing, a bit more inspiring, a bit more significant, I guess. You know, having a book, I think, is quite important. And of course, doing the videos, I think, to take some skill in itself. You know, and yeah, here we are bringing it all together. You know, it blows my mind. It really does because I just think this was something I thought I'd left behind. I didn't think I was going to bother. Like I say quite openly over the past few videos, like I've spoke about the fact that I don't really work on this that much. I don't do huge design tinkers. I might play with something like we're doing the gradients here, but it's not like substantial changes. I've come up with a design. I'm leaving it. No, I'm not really doing a lot of work with the website. It's just bits and pieces. But I felt I'd reached the limit of what I can share because I can't just keep making it an endless page, you know. But I think this picture here, the cover design to this video where I've done becoming a one-person brand, just typifies everything. It's saying, look, I do the books, I do video content, I do web design, I do audio books, and I've done podcasts. And it's like, that's pretty cool because it means I can do all this. If I want to record something, I'll just get my microphone and record it. If I want to do a video, I'll just record a video. If I want to write a book, I'll just go and write my own book. If I want a website, I'll go and do it. So I don't need people to create for me. I can just anything I come put on anything I want to do, I'll just do it. And I don't have to wait for someone to join me or someone to give me advice or someone to do it. I just start now. So as soon as I've got an idea, even if I've got an idea for a book right now, I mean I'm working on 2 anyway. But let's say I want to do a novel. I'll just start writing now then. Start working on it, prepare it, let's do this. You know? So if I want to do this video, I hit record. If I want to do the website, Do it quite quick. But yeah, like I say, it doesn't mean we can't work and collaborate on other things. It's just I've got to think about the time now. Like I could pay someone £90, write an article on their website that I could have just wrote on my own website. You know, just because at the moment I'm featuring my videos, I may also do articles where there's no video. You know, it's probably unlikely because usually if I get an idea, I'll just record a video first anyway. Then I'll think about the website. But if I'm ever just want to do something on a website, there may very well be articles at some point, or maybe I'm on the go traveling and I want to talk about something, but I've not got the recording software and I don't, you know, maybe I'll just, so there might be times when there is nothing there apart from that. Although for the most part, it'd probably be in the book. If I'm doing a book, I'd much rather write in a book, just because it's a bit more significant, and I think you're more likely to make a financial reward from it in the future. You know, it's just smart. So, like for instance, I'm not going to write a massive page, maybe 1,000 words at the most, on an article because you know it just devalues my work when I write my books. You know, I just think if I'm going to write on a deep topic, then save it for the book. That's why I've had a bit of a problem with the website since my books came, because every time I was writing a blog post, I kept thinking I could do that in a book though. And a book, if you sell a lot of books, you make a lot of money. If someone reads a blog post, I don't get anything. So it doesn't make, if you talk about financially, it doesn't make sense. Just giving it away for free. But I think this is just something a little bit different. And I think quite special. I think what it is, I found my niche. Because I got my, you know, my fun bit is my physical media. I can share what I'm watching, share what I'm buying and all those different things. And like I say, it started off with my gaming channel. And I think if I sold that name, it'd be worth quite a bit as well, actually. Wait a minute. Forget the design of it. I put no effort into it at all. Again, I've spoken about it a few times where it looked really nice back in the day. I deleted it. Then I made a very basic design just to put some of my old reviews and things on. I've lost a lot of content over the years. I didn't back everything up. But the point is, the name InsidePCGaming.com, I just recently renewed. I'm not letting that go. But let's say I put that up on a marketplace, it'd probably be worth a bit of money because it's very specific. So, you know, there are people that buy domains, aren't there, to sell them. So that could be a good name. But I also think my new one's a good name, mindandsoul.com. I mean, I would have gone with mindandsoul.com, but that was taken. I don't know if I can look for that now. Let's say we do mindandsoul.com. Mindandsoul.com. I don't know if that's how we started. £22,248. £22,000. So for me to put the word "our" at the beginning, ourmindandsoul.com. Oh, I've just saved 22,200 and whatever pounds. This one specifically cost me £8 something, £8.50. And then because I added the .org for another about £5 something, £6. Instead of mindandsoul.com, I do ourmindandsoul.com and it saves a fortune. Insane, isn't it? But that's not how it's not like I saw that and then thought, I'm going to do it. It's because I was thinking of these names myself and then someone had it and I'm trying to find a way around it, thinking it's not fair that everybody's gobbled up all these web names, or, you know. It just annoys me because they're just people buying them to just sell them anyway. So it's like they're not even doing it in a reasonable way. But yeah, saved myself a fortune with that one. But yeah, like I say, it just started off with me looking, thinking. I was excited a few months ago. I was actually really excited in March, and I thought I can definitely see myself doing that when I've got some money. I can contribute there. It may open doors, even if it doesn't open them now. You never know when someone sees something. It could happen even in a few years. But you've put the effort. You know, you've invested. You've invested in yourself, and any investment in ourselves is a good thing. But now I just feel like it's not about the money. It's about I've doubled down in my own way. Okay, I'm not part of a community, but I never feel I need to be. You know, just little old me doing my own little thing, creating my next one brand after another. You know, create and do this, do something else. It's just, and I thought about that anyway. I thought even if like I filled this page up with not even all my videos, but I did a few, and there was periods where you left it. I don't think it doesn't even matter, does it? It's fine. There's plenty of content there. Someone fresh, or even if someone returns and sees the same homepage, doesn't matter. if there's enough content they can search around and it helps them, it helps them, doesn't it? And someone new can come across, it hasn't been updated for a year. Doesn't matter. As long as there's enough content there to keep people like learning and evolving. That's the point. So my plan at the moment is to really feed this over the next few months, and I think it'll be. I keep saying big. I think it will be. I'm not saying there'll be a lot of people seeing it. I don't know how that. I don't. It's more for me. You know, I don't. If I don't get traction, it doesn't really bother me that much because I just know that I've done it. I've done something though, whether people see it or not, doesn't change much. Like, so for instance, like I said, I'm going to upgrade the theme so we get some more extensions around here. And then I'll really tail it off where we do subcategories and all sorts. And it'll allow me to start making it a bit more specific, the content, and I get excited. Because all of a sudden, it's just so much diversity within the content. You know, you come here and it's a bit of this, a bit of that. But there's that. Now I like it. And I'm thinking, this is great. So yeah, I'm proper excited about it. But it might, for the time being, will I create videos? If I've got something to do, I'll say it. But I've got 2 books on the go. I've got a website to maintain, another website I'm working on for fun. But I mean, that's really where I'm up to. I can't see me making more websites at the moment. It was just nagging in my head, you know. I just thought, oh, I've got to do this at some point because I need a platform for it. I don't want to I've done it in the past where I've worked on multiple websites at a time and it gets so overwhelming and you end up not doing anything. So I don't want to do that. I want to focus in on one. I did have another domain name. I can't remember what it is now. I think I've got it. I think it's Our Spiritual. Yeah, okay. So Our Spiritual is my other name. So it's the one I had first. OurSpiritual.com. Never made sense. So I've never used it. But I've had it since 2023. Or, you know. So that was the alternative. If I couldn't get a domain name, if I couldn't get a new name I liked, I was just going to go with that and just say sod it. We're just going to call it Our Spiritual. But I do like the fact it has mind in, you know, I wanted it to be more healing. I don't want it to be so specific. But that's where really the owl came in because I already had Our Spiritual. Again, it's so hard. Like a few years ago, I probably had the same trouble trying to find a name. So when I did Our Mind and Soul, I think that just sounds so much better than OurSpiritual.com. But it would have saved me a few quid not to change it. But I think it's worth the extra money, wasn't it? So what will happen here is I'll just redirect this website. I'll either sell that name or redirect it to this one. So if you type that in, it'll just take you here. That's probably the plan for now because I don't want to sell anything that I don't, because they're not that expensive. You know, they cost £15 a year. I mean, if you're not using it after a while, then maybe it makes sense to sell it or just cancel it. But I mean, I've cancelled some web domains over time because you can't keep everything. But these are not ones I'm looking to do anything with to sell. I'm not looking to sell my PC one, even if I never make another gaming video or YouTube or web stuff. It's still something I want. And then we've got this one, and then we've got my home address. But yeah, I mean, look, there's always going to be someone that's better than us at something, you know. But it's not about competition, is it? It's like, are we good enough at what we do, and are we proud of what we do, and those things. I'm content. Keep finding different things to push myself in. You would think that would be enough for most people just writing a book, wouldn't you? But it's not for me. I don't hide in the book pages. I do my videos. I talk on camera. I present myself as I am. I then put myself on the internet. And I do my own thing, you know, create my own platforms. And that's just who I am, you know. I'm just someone that keeps pushing the bar every time. It's like, let's do more, let's do more. Like I say, I don't just create the website, do work on the websites. I start coming up with different ways to promote, you know. It's like, let's think, how can I make that look better? How can I make that good? Where can I fit that? How big does it need to be? You know? And it'll always be like that. I'll always keep tinkering. Anyway, quite early in the morning here. I don't want to find myself rambling like a lunatic. I just wanted to really show people that it's quite exciting for me because I only just started it. Like I said, that's the only Michael Jackson's one's the only one with a substantial amount of content. And it's not by chance. If that page ends up doing well on Google, it wasn't by chance. It's because I've put the time and effort into getting the SEO up to scratch. So I've got green marks. That one just says red for some reason, but it's not a big red. And if we click on it, it was all green anyway, look. That's nice. And actually, some of these things, while we're here, I mean, I'm just going to go now. I'm not going to play it because I get copyright striked immediately. But like I say, put details for this video specifically here. I've even put a link to my physical media collection if you wanted to see Michael Jackson stuff. But I've also done little links of where I can. I'll do that. You know, you could buy his Dangerous album or you can listen to his music. If I click this, I'm going to have to really, really be careful. Oh, straight away, because I'm sick and tired of things copyrighting my videos. But that's the Michael Jackson music video. And that's what I can do. So I can just link things out and about, bring it back in. You know, people click that, you go to my books. You go click that one, you go to my website. So we've clicked the books, and it should be quicker than this. My internet, I don't know if my internet's playing up. Not normally that slow. But again, that takes us here. But they're all my banners that I created. So I'll spend time there, then I'll come here, then I'll do my videos, then I'll work on my... I think with Easter coming to an end, I think my next book I plan to release July. I took 2 months off from working on it. I feel a bit creative. I feel like I'm going to probably jump back into that. So I think personally over the next few months, the focus will be, for my time-wise, it'll be doing... I can't even find it anymore, can we? Because we've gone back and forward so many bleeding times. The priority would be the website and the upcoming book. Because then I'm ahead. I'm still ahead, you know. I'm working on this. We've still got the next book comes out. It's nice. Now, if the book gets delayed, it gets delayed because it is complicated. It's the hardest book I've had to write. So we'll see how we develop with that. But things keep moving forward. That's a pretty nice place to be. Anyway. Yeah, like I say, I'm excited because I feel like I've made a smart play towards creating something.